Hello everyone, this is Chaff Commander Coffee, back with another episode of Civilization 4 Realism Invictus. So, continuing where we left off, we have destroyed the Ethiopian Empire. So the eastern part of our continent is completely free, up for grabs, if we can fight off the barbarians that will no doubt make their home there. So, right now we're focusing on building our empire up on this western side, getting some more cities down, and really improving our economy. So it may be another episode where I do 100 turns, simply because it will be quite fast. Let's not waste any turns, or time. Let's try not waste either. So, the largest civilizations of the world. Chaff Commander Coffee the Great. We are the second largest. That does mean someone is actually expanding faster than us. We'll have to change that. That is not a prospect I'm pleased with. Let's get our skirmishers to just kill these barbarians off. Now we have lost access to our horses because the barbarians keep burning this pasture down. And there's our next great general. So what do we want to do with this great general? Let's see. We could take a tradition. Skilled raiders, obsolete with plate armor. That's probably going to get obsolete before it comes into play. Let's take skirmisher warriors, recon tradition. I think that would be very useful. Skirmishers are going to be pretty handy for keeping the barbarians in check, and also really quite useful later on in the game when we need to explore new continents. So let's do that. Let's get a marble quarry here, so we'll have access to marble, which will really give ourselves some options with building wonders and that kind of thing. Let's get another city down, Ningxia, or however you say that, Ningxia. I'm not sure. I don't speak Mongolian, so yeah. Sorry for all those Mongolian viewers that I might get. Right. Let's get a storyteller circle, make sure this city is focused on food and production. Let's make sure the city is focused on food and production as well. Now if any of our cities reduce in size because of epidemics, we'll have to make sure we get them to grow up again. So this side of the continent is now pretty much all visible to us, so we shouldn't get any more barbarians spawning over in that direction. Got our skirmisher here, let's just have them sit over there on sentry. Now carpenters are going to be particularly useful now that we actually have access. Let's get carpenters in all of our cities, because now we have access to prime timber. All the carpenters provide 10% more production, which is really awesome. So yeah, let's get carpenters. I think the city already has it. They already have a carpenter. And I'll focus building the carpenters before anything else, because obviously that extra production is going to be really useful. There was an epidemic in Karakoram, and it did reduce the city in size. So what we're going to have to do is let that grow up again to size 5. More barbarians in the north. I think we'll just let them attack us. They shouldn't be able to break through our fortified position. There you go. Let's get another carpenter up in Turfan. We're going to need to get some grazing pastures around here. It's mostly ice, which is not great, but we can get a few grazing pastures. Some more barbarians over here. Oh, these are archers. Probably not the best thing for our skirmisher to attack. But, you know, our skirmishers have got more strength than archers, and they're pretty well promoted. There's 2 archers there, actually, so we'll have to get our swordsman to sally forth from Beshbalik and just kill that archer. If we can. There we go. No problem. Let's see. Got quite a few barbarian ships in the south here, which is not good. Finished a carpenter up here. Let's get a lighthouse. We might even be able to build the Great Lighthouse. And that would be pretty nice if we can manage that. The Great Lighthouse is still an excellent wonder to try and get. We'll have this worker group mostly focus on Turfan, building grazing pastures around there. Have them now fortify now that they're healed up. We do have a barbarian galley in the south here, and we finished our research of ironworking, which means that we can get strength 4 archers. We get Tartar bowmen now instead of the whatever they're called, the steppe archers. We also get 25% worker speed, which offsets our worker speed malus from pastoral nomadism, or in fact from our ruler's trait, foreign. And we also can now find out where iron is. We have some iron down here, which actually makes this city a lot more valuable, since we'll be able to work that iron. Once Alemanni's borders expand, we will be able to get access to it. How much more iron is there? Some iron down here, which this city will actually get access to, so that's fine. Do I want to build this city one more to the south? I think there is still fine. Some more iron in Ethiopia's old lands as well. Let's get a lighthouse. Yeah, that will help with the fishing boats here and provide some more food. We've got a grazing pasture up in this location. Let's get some more roads built between our other cities. We can get a pasture in this tundra here, make that tundra useful. Right, now, ooh, our army is starting to cost us way too much gold. We're going to have to focus on our economy quite a lot to bring that back up to scratch. If we can get a trade route between here and our capital, that will probably help. Oh, we're being attacked by barbarians on the eastern border again. We didn't have a problem defeating those. There's a barbarian galley here, 91% chance. We should be able to defeat this with our dragon ships. No problem at all. Put that back on sentry. Let's have this worker just build a road between here and Ningxia. So currently we have no tech rate, which kind of sucks. There's another barbarian here. Oh, it's a barbarian skirmisher. Okay, we still managed to beat them, which is good. But the barbarians coming from the east there are particularly irritating. I'm going to have this army actually sit on those horses. That way, we should be able to stop them from burning that down every time they come into our borders. And ending quite a few turns. Again, mostly focused on building our economy up. Keeping those barbarians in check. Let's get that pasture built. Once we get these lighthouses and some caravan houses, that will be very useful as well. We can start getting our trade up. Toll houses will help as well. We've got a toll house in our capital already. Alemanni has now become annoyed again. That's probably because, yeah, they still yearn to join the motherland, since a lot of them are still barbarian culture. That will eventually disappear, but we will need to get some more culture buildings here to make sure that we can keep those people in check. Building some potters' workshops would actually help a lot as well, but we need to get granaries. You need a granary to get a potter's workshop, but they provide gold. They provide 1 flat gold, which is then boosted by everything else that you build for that. I think we'll build an Ovu here, because we do need culture here to try and convert that over to good Mongolian people. Chopping all these forests will help us get our buildings up a bit quicker. Let's build a road to this stone. Let's get that stone online. And we got our dragon ship here. Let's see if we can get rid of these barbarian galleys. Oh, we did win. Excellent. Right, let's bring it back into our borders and then back into the city because we'll need to get this healed up. And let's get the site promotion. Fortify that until it's healed. This worker can come back and just start building grazing pastures around Alamanni. I don't really need to add him to a group of workers. He should just be fine to work by himself. More barbarians attacking from the east. Our swordsmen seem to be doing a perfect job of keeping them at bay. Karakorum's now finished another building to improve our economy. Now, a weaver's shop would be a good idea because we do have access to hemp, and that provides 2% more commerce in the city. We can only build 3 of them though. I will put one on production. Oh, another barbarian ship there. Is that that's still a galley. We'll see where it goes. We've got fur here. Now that will actually be boosted by a weaver's shop as well. And we have some more hemp here. I'm just wondering if we've got any better resources. We have silk down here and dyes over here. And both of those are better resources for commerce. But that's a bit too far away for us to worry about. So we're going to get the weaver's shop. Could get the Great Lighthouse. Trade route in all coastal cities and 1 gold from lighthouse in all cities. Or 1 commerce from lighthouse. We'll finish the caravan house, and I think we're going to try and build the Great Lighthouse, and then maybe the toll house after that. Karakorum has grown again. We're going to need to get some more happiness for that. So what we're going to do is, I think the walls will provide us happiness if we are running despotism as a civic. So we're going to... let's just put our ship there and see if the barbarians attack us. We will build some walls here, and if we get that stone hooked up, it should be quite quick to build those. Get some more turns. Build that stone. 76% chance. Come on, dragon ship. You can do it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Didn't even take any damage. Make sure we keep those barbarians out of our borders. We're going to get a workboat after that to get this sea amber back online. Now we can get immune to down. Don't need expert pilot as a promotion, so I think what we're going to take is extra first strikes. That's a pretty powerful thing to get. Our units are on strike, and one of our steppe skirmishers was disbanded because of lack of funds. We're going to need to replace that steppe skirmisher, but I think what we'll do is we'll take these battering rams and we'll just delete those because we don't need those right now. The rest of our army we do need to kind of keep. Yeah, our economy's not great. It's not great right now, but we'll sort it out. Don't worry, it will get sorted out. We'll need a workboat. We're going to need another dragon ship. We'll build that before the workboat. Make sure our sea resources are all A-OK, nice and protected. Let's get another grazing pasture down here. Karakorum is going to need to grow again, since the epidemic did reduce its size. And Ninghisia can stop growing. Oh, and our dragon ship got attacked by a galley. Hopefully we should... Yep, we won that with no problems. Let's build some grazing pastures around Ninghisia here. Let's have that skirmisher just protect that that hill there. Ah, damn it. Tragedy is struck. We have no gold to stop this. So unfortunately Alamanni is going to be even angrier for 15 turns. Yeah, that's not ideal. And the epidemics are causing our economy to be even weaker, which sucks. But we've just got to deal with it. Get another grazing pasture there. A granary. If we get a granary here, we can build a potter's workshop, which would be pretty nice to help bring our economy back on track. The Great Lighthouse would actually help loads with that. It really would. Let's bring this worker group back down. In fact, what I'll do is I'll build a road here in this grassland. And then onto the horses. The most cultured. We are the mediocre. We don't actually have that much culture. Which is not really a surprise, since most of our culture is, can we destroy the Ethiopians? That's most of the history of the Mongolians so far. So we have gone over the 50 turn mark. I am aware of that, but might as well keep playing for a little bit longer. Christianity has been founded in a distant land. Now, a good thing to note is that we can check how advanced certain nations are. Someone's already got to theology. So yeah, we might be now starting to fall behind on technology because of our early focus on warfare. But that will change. And now, since we finished the Ovu, we can build an Imperial Cult. Now, the Imperial Cult is a special building if you're running despotism. Let's try to get rid of these barbarians. So because we're running despotism, we can build the Imperial Cult, which provides culture and happiness, which is pretty good. But if we swap out from despotism, then we'll no longer have access to it. So what I would rather do is build walls, because the walls we will still keep access to, even if we change to a different civic. And walls also provide happiness if you are running monarchy. Now, monarchy is a bit changed in Realism Invictus, but we'll come to that later when we have access to it. So we finished the walls in Karakorum. Let's build a river dock. The river dock can only be built if your city is along a river, of course, but it provides one extra trade route, and I think that would be really handy to have in the capital. We're coming close to finishing city planning research, which would be awesome. And then we'll get it on our way towards civil engineering. We can no longer build monuments, which we didn't actually build any monuments. We get one extra urban logistics, we can get the civic of civil service, and we get a bunch of new buildings. The jeweler in particular is going to be quite nice to improve our happiness. The city square, basically a monument but with bonuses, because you get extra great person birth rate. And we can also build hanging gardens. Health is not really an issue right now, and we don't really have that much happiness in our empire, so don't think we will go for the hanging gardens, but we might do. It's quite possible we might. Slavery, we're not really focused. If you build slave farms are basically an alternative type of farm. You can sacrifice population to finish production, but it's a lot harder to get happiness, so slavery's not so great. It's not just like the best civic ever, like it kind of was in Civilization 4. But yeah, slave farms are basically an alternative type of farm that actually provide more food than regular farms. And they get boosted further when you build a slave market in your cities. But they eventually become worse as your technology gets better. So yeah, there's a couple of teams that are particularly good with slavery. I think the Romans. Rome is pretty strong with slavery. They get some special buildings that boost the effectiveness of slavery. But I don't think it's really something we need to take as the Mongolians. It's not going to help. We're building our grazing grounds instead of farms. So yeah. Rule of fear. Good if you want to go to war. But we're probably going to take civil service. It will cost us more gold per turn, and it does reduce our military unit production, but it gives us 10% more production in all cities. So you don't produce units any slower, but you do build buildings faster. And since we're kind of focusing on our economy right now, I think civil service is the way to go. It also enables a bunch of extra buildings depending on what civic you've chosen. Civil service is pretty good to have with Republic, as far as I'm aware, but we don't have access to Republic yet because we don't know philosophy. That's fine. I am going to save up a bit of gold as well, in case we get any more random events that I would like to stop. Yeah, that would be ideal. Right, let's continue. Turfan finished the granary, so we're going to build a potter's workshop to give us a little bit more gold coming in. Let's keep clearing these forests for grazing grounds. Have those workers build up that pasture again for us. We're getting some more epidemics. We're going to need to build some buildings to try and reduce epidemic chance in our cities. I'm just taking a quick look. All of our cities are basically unable to grow to the next population size, simply because of unhappiness. They could grow, but it's not worth it because they're not really. They won't really be providing anything. Unhappy workers don't really do anything good for us. Right, let's continue that grazing field. You can go back to Sentry. Okay, so getting our economy into shape again. We could go up to 10% technology, but like I said, I want to save some gold up for some potentially bad events that we're going to get. We've got another dragon ship, which is perfect. We need that to protect our lands against those barbarian raiders. Does our capital need any more improving? It does. I think we'll get some cottages on this desert scrubland. Don't really want to build farms. Pastoral nomadism makes farms worse. Let's try to get rid of this barbarian, get some experience on this dragon ship. We did win, excellent. Have that on Sentry. Give it its first promotion. Let's get some cottages down here. And we finished another building in Turfan. That would be the potter's workshop. Let's build some walls. I think building walls everywhere is going to be really nice to get our happiness up whilst we're running despotism. And if we swap to monarchy, they'll still be useful. Do I want Karakorum to grow? Not really, because then it would become very annoyed. Rather that didn't happen. Hanging gardens. We could build the hanging gardens. Like, we genuinely could. They are a good wonder. It is a good wonder, but we can't really support those extra people. What I would like to do is get some buildings to stop epidemics. So let's build a granary and then a smokehouse. That will help reduce epidemics in those cities. Get another grazing field over here. Really focus on building that economy up, because we've let it slide for far too long. Let's try and finish off these barbarian galleys here. Keep our sea lanes safe. Free from pirates and other such nasty barbarian naval units. And it looks like... Oh, got another promotion. Put him back over there on Sentry. We have a barbarian horde. 3 woodsmen, which have 5 strength each. They're basically barbarian axemen, and a mounted savage. I think our skirmishers should be able to deal with them, or at least a couple of them. There we go, there's one. Get our other skirmisher. Come in here and kill that barbarian, please. There we are. And then, apparently they're in a swamp, so they actually have reduced defense, which is good for us. We'll try to finish them off. And there's only the barbarian horsemen left, and our great general should be able to deal with it. Which one's closer to leveling up? This one. Okay. You can go in there and try and finish off that barbarian stack. There we are. Perfect. So we're still going to keep getting barbarians pretty much throughout the game, so we do need to be worried about those. Up until, obviously, once we've colonized the entire continent, we don't need to worry about barbarians. But right now we do. Now I have a bit of a dilemma here. Do I, now that I've saved up a bit of gold, put it back into research, Or do I build more cities? I think research up until, say, we need to keep building our research up probably until we get, once we get politics, we don't need armor crafting anymore. Civil engineering is a good technology for getting the arena. That helps happiness. So we'll get civil engineering. That will also allow us to build paved roads, which means our armies can move around a lot faster. And I think then we're going to get... we need economy. So I think we're going to then go for commerce code. Maybe drama. Simply because we build theatres faster, because we're creative. And they do give extra happiness. If for every point of culture that you put in. In Realism Invictus, as you advance through the ages, you actually get more negatives. Your people expect more luxuries and more amenities, for those of you that play Civilization 6. Just to coin a term from there. They expect more stuff. They're not as happy with the requirements of their forefathers. So you do have to keep building up, and I find as the game progresses you kind of need to put money into culture, otherwise you're not going to be able to keep all of your people happy. So we've got one more turn on the wall here, and that should keep Alemanni happy, but just in case we'll build the Imperial Cult as well. We've got the Great Lighthouse almost finished, 7 turns, good stuff. Karakorum won't grow, but it is building a granary. Alemanni has become happy because it finished the wall there. I think instead of building the Imperial Cult, we'll get a caravan house. Just to keep improving our economy. No reason to stop now. Got a granary in Karakorum. And let's get another grazing ground over there. Let's see. What do we want in Turfan? A tavern wouldn't be the worst idea. We get extra happiness, and then we could grow Turfan up another size. Let's build a tavern first, and then tell them to grow. Otherwise, that's going to be counterproductive. Karakorum, you can work a few more tiles. We've got our 2 cottages down here. It wants to work this hill because it's getting a lot of production from here. So what we should do is build a grazing ground there as well. Let's get the Potter's Workshop in Karakorum. Try bring that epidemic chance down. And we finished the Great Lighthouse. And our economy is looking a lot sharper because of it. Let's go up to 30% technology. A whole 30% technology. Wow. PogChamp. People that have played Civilization 4 before are probably shaking their head like, oh dear, what are you doing? But honestly, it's one of those things that Realism Invictus is just a lot different to to standard Civilization 4. And you really can't get that much of an economy. It's just quite difficult, especially early on in the game. You rely a lot on trade route value, and we just destroyed our only trade partner. So we have to rely on internal trade, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing. You can do that. We are doing that. It's just not quite as good. But we'll have to make do. So we're coming close to the end of the episode, our 100-turn episode. Again, it's a 100-turn episode. Ooh, we got some more food in Ningxia, which is kind of forcing me to grow it now, because otherwise we'll waste all that extra food. So we'll grow it up and then build a wall to keep it happy. I'd rather not waste the food from that event, so yeah, we'll do that. Let's build some more grazing grounds. And then stop growing again. Be excellent. Let's keep building up grazing grounds around Karakorum. Just chopping all that wood to give us some extra production for all these buildings. And once we get civil engineering, we'll be able to build paved roads. I think once this worker is done improving Alemanni, I will actually have him set to build trade network automated. So there's a couple new automation features in Realism Invictus for your workers. You have improved nearest city, where it will only improve the city it's assigned to. There's build improvements automated, where it will just automate everything that the worker does. And then there's build trade network, where basically your worker will focus on building roads and connecting up resources. They won't do anything else. So once he's finished with Alamana, I'll probably have him just run around building roads and just automate that so it's, you know, less hassle. Ah, we got civil engineering. Perfect. I'm going to want an early dragon ship in Turfan here, so that it can protect the crabs from barbarians. I like to generally put a combat ship on every single one of my resources, because there are a lot of barbarian ships, as you can see. We are constantly being attacked by them. And as long as we have a strong enough ship to fight them off, then our resources will remain safe. Let's build a... They already have a granary here, don't they? Let's build a smokehouse. Now, granaries in Civilization 4 were quite powerful because they allowed you to store 50% of growth upon the city growing. In Realism Invictus, they don't store quite as much. Granary only stores 30%, and you have to build the smokehouse as well to get the full 50%. But, you know, they're both still useful. It is useful getting both. It just requires a bit more production to get that extra storage upon growing. They also provide health with different resources. So the smokehouse provides health with cattle, deer, pigs and sheep, and the granary provides it with corn, wheat, rice, that kind of thing. And salt as well, salt and potatoes. There you go. Salt's pretty good. Salt is actually a really good resource in this particular version. Highly recommend getting yourself some Salinus. Let's have those guys just heal up. And our dragon ship's being attacked. It wasn't fully healed, so we could lose the dragon ship here. I hope we don't. We did. Oh no, oh, we won. Perfect. However, there is another barbarian galley, so we're going to run our dragon ship back into the city, because I'd rather not lose it. It's not a great idea to lose the dragon ship for nothing. And if we can always rebuild the fishing boat, so it's not too much of an issue. Karakorum should grow. It got the jewelers, and there we go. We got alphabet finally. So now we can build libraries, which we're going to want to build pretty much everywhere, because our technology does look like it's lacking behind, which is never a good thing. Never a good thing. The barbarian galley decided to drop off some barbarians. So we're going to need to try and respond to that as fast as we can. Let's get our skirmishers to move up there. So there you go, one of the great advantages of skirmishers. They have 2 movement, so you can move them around your empire quite quickly. One of the skirmishers died fighting a 90% battle, the other one won. But hey ho, you're going to lose some of your 90% battles. That's why you need to be extra prepared. If you're always prepared for whatever eventuality may befall your empire, then there's no issues. In fact, I'm going to build a couple of step skirmishers to be on the safe side. And more barbarian galleys attacking from the west. We managed to fight them off. It didn't actually destroy our fishing boats, but there you go. I did get to showcase one thing, and that is the barbarians will actually drop units off by ship and attack your outlying cities. So you gotta protect everything. You can't leave any city undefended because it could just get captured very, very easily. Oh, Alamana I can actually grow. I could finish the smokehouse and then grow it, but I'd rather just grow it now. Apparently it was getting happiness from something. It's too crowded. Okay, right, well, finish the smokehouse and then build yourself an imperial cult, and then we're all good. Keep building those pastures up. get those walls finished. Let's have these guys put back to sentry mode. Getting philosophy, we can put our tech back up again to 40%. Philosophy in 3 turns, perfect. Ningxia finished the walls and is now happy again. And it's now turn 500. So we've finished our 100 turns for this episode. Good stuff. Got our economy back on track, which is perfect. We will need to build some more settlers. But I would like to get currency before we really do that, so that we actually have more of a substantial economy to work with. Putting new cities down, they're not going to provide very much. In fact, they're going to be a drain on our economy until they really expand and build up. So I think we're going to wait until we get currency and then worry about, which is going to take a while. We need to get Code of Laws. Code of Laws will give us a courthouse, which will help with our cash income. Currency after that, and then Commerce Code. Very useful stuff. Commerce Code allows us to get a new economy civic, though I normally wait until this one here, and you'll get to see that later on. As far as getting a religion goes, now this is probably something some of you guys are thinking of, like, well, why hasn't Coffee gone for a religion yet? Well, pretty much all of them have already been founded, minus Islam, or potentially the Great Schism, which allows you to get orthodoxy. Now, we could try and go for theocracy and get Islam, but we're quite far away from that. We'd have to get Code of Laws. We might try and go for it after dynasticism. Like, we could try this. I think it's worth it, but if I see Islam get founded before I can reach it, I'm not going to be too bothered, really. Yeah, it wouldn't be great, but it wouldn't be the end of the world either. It means that we don't really have to worry about religious tension and that kind of thing later in the game. Ooh, an island. Can we reach that? Ooh. Let's do some exploring. Ah, borders. Right, well, I'll end the episode here. Maybe next episode we'll be able to find some more neighbours. This is ocean, however. We are split by an ocean. But we might be able to get some information from them. Maybe they have maps. Maybe they already have paper. Anyway, it's been me, Chaff Commander Coffee. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.